Okay, hi guys. Welcome to today's episode. This is just a little note before we start to let you guys know that this is a pre-recorded episode. This was filmed August 2023 and is a episode that I filmed solo for another podcast that I was on, but I just thought I'd put it here because it's a nice little episode and it's just me talking. So yeah, this is just to let you guys know when this was filmed and give you a little bit of context on the things I'm talking about. So I hope you guys enjoy. I realized also I say anyways a lot. I'm kind of in that holiday mode where it's like, I feel like you're on holiday or like vacation mode when you don't know what day of the week it is and when you don't know the date. I feel like that's when you truly are on holiday. So, yeah, I went to the dentist today. Weirdly, I actually quite like the dentist. I feel like it is a spa for your teeth. I always leave feeling very, like, refreshed and clean in my mouth. Everything's like, it feels like, when you, like, put your tongue across your teeth and it's just, like, so smooth. It's just it just feels fresh. You don't have that furry feeling in your mouth. That's such an awful and weird thing to say, but yeah. They gave me this really weird mouthwash at the start. It was absolutely disgusting. Again, weirdly, I also like mouthwash, like just a normal little minty mouthwash. I don't quite like the glycerin one. Oh, I like the green one or the blue one. I can't remember. But I don't know what this mouthwash was that they had there, but it was disgusting. It was so bitter for some reason. And you had to like swoosh it around your mouth. And it was like burning my taste buds. I don't know. And then she was like, you have to have it in for like at least a minute. I'm pretty sure I spat it out after like 15 seconds because I was like, no, absolutely not. And also the dentist informed me, she was like looking at my teeth. She's like, do you drink carbonated drinks? And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, you gotta cut back on it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna admit, I do think that I like carbonated drinks a little bit too much. They're just so nice and refreshing, especially in Bahrain. It's a hot country, especially when I come home from school and it's just like you're all sweaty and hot and you just need a good, refreshing drink. Then like a carbonated drink, I'm not really into sparkling water. My dad really loves sparkling water. I am not. I feel like maybe it's just the brand or the type that my dad buys. He gets the San Pellegrino. I find that so bitter. Don't know why. I like it with a little bit of lemon. But otherwise, no, not really. It's like too bitter for me. Also quickly, if you're wondering what I'm holding, video listeners, it's my sister's phone because I don't have a microphone. Back to the carbonated drinks. So usually, have a carbonated drink, but I love lemonade. I used to be really into Sprite. No, I'm not really. It's kind of just like, okay. I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about soft drinks because I love them. But I'll tell you why I'm confused when the dentist told me, like, you need to cut back. Because I'll drink a can of soft drink, but it's not like I drink one whole can, like one can at dinner. No. I probably take, like, this much from the can, have it at dinner, and then I'll use that same can probably across 2 to 3, maybe even 4 It's probably once even gone for a week over that number of days. So it gets like progressively flatter over the course of the week. And I'm like, it's only one soft drink as well. So I was like wondering, what is she seeing? I also, I was there with my mum, and I feel like we were both kind of scared to admit our soft drink. I feel like when you go to the dentist as well, although I love it, I'm always scared to get some bad news from the dentist. It's quite... Okay, let's move away from the dentist and the soft drinks. I feel like I've talked... It's already like 6 minutes into the episode, and all I've talked about is the dentist and soft drinks. Actually, speaking of the dentist, I did some work experience at a dental clinic. I was thinking of becoming a dentist. I thought it could be fun, but at the same time, at first I was like, it kind of sounds like, I don't know, it's like dental school, that sounds a little difficult. But anyways, I went to the work experience, and I was definitely expecting to get a lot more grossed out, because like people, they pulled out some teeth the day that I went. They pulled out some teeth. The dentist that was kind of like, that I was like observing, one of his patients, he was like flossing for him. For audio listeners, I did the dance-ish. I'm sitting down, so it didn't quite work. But anyways, sorry. He like flossed the teeth and out of this patient's mouth, and a whole chunk of chicken came out. And I thought that was plaque. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of plaque. And he goes, no, that's chicken. And I went, no. So I was grossed out for that moment, but for the most part I wasn't. I think because everyone in there was kind of calm. Like, no one was like, oh my gosh, that's so gross. Otherwise I would have felt like, this is kind of gross. Because like, everyone in there was just kind of like, yeah, this is normal. But I guess that's probably how they would act, because they're dentists. And they're like, this is normal. When I get back to Bahrain, I'm in the British system, so it's year 12 there. Australian system, I think it's year 10, and then American system, I think it's grade 11. I don't know, that could be TMI, just going into it. But I feel like because I'm starting my A-level, it's definitely the kind of time where I guess everyone's kind of talking about what jobs they want to do and what they want to do at uni. And I still feel like I'm not totally there, or even I'm definitely not confident in like what I'm going to do at uni. It's very intimidating, and I know that a lot of people probably, hopefully, I'm not alone in this. I'm hoping that there are other people that feel like that. And if there are, just know that I guess it's totally normal, because I'm feeling like that. Okay, there's someone's phone going off in the background. I don't know whose it is, so sorry if you hear that. Whoever it is, they need to pick it up in this house. Anyways, I realized also I say anyways a lot, but that's okay, because I feel like I don't have a better segue. Speaking of kind of like university and like work experience and kind of like growing up things, I am getting my learner's permit here in Australia. I'm doing the course, and basically, if you don't know how this works, it's like you can do it online now here, which is really good. I don't know if they've done it like because of the pandemic, or if it's like always been around. I'm sure it's not always been around, but like how long it's been around for. But basically you can sign up online and you can do this course, and then you do the test online. The course runs for like, it says like 4 to 6 hours. You don't have to do it all in one go though. It's just kind of like do it at your own pace. And I've been doing that, but it is so boring. I am near to the end. I've got like one more section left, and I've got like this week and next week until I get back to Australia. Maybe not by the time this comes out. Probably, I don't know. Anyways, sorry. And my dad was like, you better do it like before you go, because you don't want to be like trying to get the learner's permit last minute and then you have to get the license, and it's just going to be a whole thing, because I kind of want to practice when I get back to Bahrain, because all you have to do is like write in the amount of hours you've been practicing for, and then you can get your probation license. I don't know. I don't entirely know how the probation license works. We'll get to that when I get to that. But right now, doing the learner's permit thing, and it's very, I mean, it's not like difficult. It is, I feel like though I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot. It's just like the motivation to do it, especially because I'm kind of in like my holiday mode. I'm definitely like, I don't need to do work. I don't want to do this. But then like I'm logging onto the computer every night, and I'm like, there's these challenges as well at the end, and they get me. Even if I get like a 16 out of 20 in those challenges, it basically gives you like 20 questions on the topic that you've just done, but it's kind of like a car simulation. Anyways, I need to stop. It has 20 questions, and you only need like 16 out of 20 to pass, but sometimes I'm like, no, I want to get a 20 out of 20. But I think in the last one I did, I was just kind of like, it's 16 out of 20. I'm not bothered to do it again, because they are kind of hard. There's these, I learned all about giving way to people, learn all about like the bus zones and roundabouts. I feel like I'm gonna really understand it though. Like, I've read all of it, I understand it, and I feel like when I'm kind of just sitting in the car, I'm kind of spotting the things out that I've learnt. But I feel like when I finally, actually do some practice driving, then it will all kind of make sense. Not make sense, but like, I'll get used to it. Let's talk about some of the books and series that I've kind of been tuning into this summer holidays. This summer holidays, I truly just wanted to like watch and read everything that I kind of missed out on, because I feel like during GCSEs, and I do kind of regret this, I was always like, oh, I can't read this book until I'm done with my GCSEs, or I can't watch this show until I'm done with my GCSEs. But like, it's like, no, you're never going to get time. How are you going to get time to watch all of this? Like, it's not going to affect you. If you read one page of a book that you want to read, it's not going to affect you that much. It's not like, unless you're procrastinating in that way, I don't know, it could be definitely an issue for some people, but it's like, otherwise I'm still procrastinating watching or reading books. I'm just like rereading or rewatching the same media. I'm just not opening myself to new media. Like, for example, I like have shows for myself. They're all mainly sitcoms, like Big Bang Theory, Friends, Modern Family, How I Met Your Mother. And I'm like, you can only watch these shows when you're studying or during school. Because I'm like, you already know what happens in these shows. It's okay if you have it on in the background, and like, you'll easily turn it off and start studying. Incorrect. Just because it's a show that I've already watched, I'll still sit down and watch it, because it's like, I'm just still procrastinating. So I feel like definitely this year with A-levels, I'm just not gonna hesitate like I did this year in starting a new book or a TV show. I don't know. I was just like, you can't, yeah. So some of the things I've been watching. I have watched Everything Sucks. I actually quite like that show, and I knew that it was a show that Netflix cancelled, but I was like, I'm gonna watch it. I love like the videoing and the cinematography in it. It just is very aesthetically pleasing, and it's very 90s. I mean, it's set in the 90s, and I also do like the story and the kind of representation they had for teenagers in it. I thought it was quite good, and I liked also that the like teens in it looked like teenagers. That was like good. And then I watched Heartbreak High. I didn't even want to finish it after I watched like the second or third episode. Everyone in that show annoyed me. I hated all of the characters. I probably liked, I don't know, Quinny, but even she annoyed. Actually, Quinny didn't annoy me. It was more that like, I'm not going to get into Heartbreak High right now, otherwise I'll like talk about that for ages. Anyways, didn't like the show. Also, I was like, these like characters are supposed to be the same age as me, because they're in like year 11 here, which is like year 12 in the British system. And I was like, I do not know anyone that acts like this. Absolutely not. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't like live in Australia. So I'm like, maybe I just don't know what kids act like here. But I was like, kids, teenagers. I also watched Young Sheldon, not the newest season. I know that there's a season 6 that I think just came out recently, but what was on Netflix was season 5. I already like watched the whole 4 seasons when I was here last year, but I didn't watch the season 5, so I watched that, and I really liked the season 5. I think Zoe Perry was such a great actress. Season 5. I can't wait to watch season 6, even though it's already out. I can't think of any other shows that I watched. Oh, I'll quickly say this. I started watching Good Girl. Basically, it's about these mums who like kind of get into some sketchy business with a gang. They start robbing things and like stealing, and they basically money launder for this gang. And there's 3 like main characters in it, and they're all mums. Oh, I already mentioned that. There's Beth. She's kind of like this rich suburban mum. She's very like a PTA mum. Her husband like owns a car dealership, but she's having like some marriage problems. And then there's Annie, who has a son called, I think his name is Ben. Gosh, I was literally watching this yesterday. How have I forgot? Anyways, Annie is kind of like struggling financially. There's the other mum, Ruby, who in season 1, her daughter had a lot of like medical issues, so even her family was struggling financially. So I feel a lot for Annie and Ruby, because I feel like they have more motive to do all of these things, and they're even likable characters. I feel like they have a lot of like, they have motive, but then at the same time they know what they're doing is wrong, but they kind of have no choice to do it for their family. And then for Beth, I'm like, she could easily get a job. Like, her husband owns a car dealership. Yes, she's having marriage problems, but and I think that, I don't know, her husband had some things going on as well. But it's like, those Ruby and Annie, they have jobs. They're already working hard, and then on top of that, they're doing all the money laundering stuff as well, and like the crime stuff. But then Beth, she has absolutely no job. She's doing all this sketchy crime stuff, and then like whenever she peer pressures like the other 2 moms, Beth is like, I need to do it for my kids. Like, shut up. Your kids have nothing going wrong. Like, no. Okay, I need to stop talking about. Let's talk about books. I've been reading. The summer I turned pretty. Okay. This was one of the books and TV shows that I was like, you cannot watch this, you cannot read the book until after GCSEs. And I haven't even watched the show yet. Not even like season 1, not even the first episode. Season 2 is already out. I mean, some episodes. But I was like, Hannah, you're going to read the book first because you're going to be one of those fans who's like, I read the book first. Even though like the series is already out by the time I got my hands on the book. I was expecting to go into the book being Team Conrad. I see all these edits on Instagram, all these hashtags, all these YouTube videos being like, Team Conrad, are you okay? Because after reading the book, first of all, the book's kind of mid. Belly, I feel like she was just kind of a mid character. There was nothing really, sorry if you like it. I'm definitely going to watch the series though, because I want to see what's kind of different about that, and I feel like I'll like that more. But Belly in the book, wasn't really a fan of her. I feel like she just complained a lot, and she was always like, but I'm not like them. About like the guys, because they had like the guy club or whatever, like her brother Conrad and Jeremiah. But she was different because she was a girl. Shut up. And then she's like, she just hates her mom so much. Like, can we have, like, no. Like, I feel like her mom really does try to like have as best of a relationship she can with Belly, but Belly's just like, nope, I don't want it. And then she likes Conrad and Jeremiah's mom better. Conrad, I found very toxic. I actually wrote some notes when I was reading the book. I didn't know if I was going to make like a video about it or something, or like on the Instagram. I feel like that could have gone down quite controversially, but let's just see my notes. Let's see. Okay, so here I wrote, she keeps talking about how she's different. Again, I already mentioned that. Jeremiah is much better. Conrad is toxic. Conrad is annoying. Jeremiah is fun. And then about Cam seems cool. I also like Cameron. Like, this girl is so blind that she doesn't, like, there's a guy right in front of you who, like, genuinely likes you. Like, remembered you from Latin camp or whatever it was. And she's like, Conrad. Or Jeremiah. Be for real right now. Conrad is controlling. He has never showed interest in Belly, ever. If you guys are going to argue with me on this in the comments, go ahead. Don't be mean. If you have something from the first book to prove that Conrad did like Belly, just like type it in being like, actually, I feel like Conrad might have liked Belly over here. Just remember, guys, it's just a book. Jeremiah has clearly liked Belly since at least 2 summers before, like, the current one in the book. And I feel like that's so obvious with, like, the whole Twizzler straws, with, like, the way he would always try and include her when Taylor was there. Let's ignore him kissing Taylor. Taylor kissed a lot of people, okay? Just Taylor is a bad friend. She's a bad person. I hope that Belly distanced herself from that negative energy. I hate Conrad. He is stop controlling Belly. You are not her parent. Like, literally make her own mistakes. She is a young woman. Let her experience life and love without you. the thing was that annoyed me is that Conrad showed no interest in Belly ever. He was so rude to her the entire book, of the first book at least. I've only read the first book. So I just don't understand why people can be like, but Conrad. No. And then I feel like Belly is very dramatic again over like Conrad and Jeremiah being like her true loves, because it's like friends to lovers is a common trope. Has Belly never read a book? Also, Conrad forgot her birthday. I mean, I haven't read the second book. Maybe there's like some uncovered truth about that. She forgot her birthday. He forgot her birthday. You know what Jeremiah did? Got her a beautiful charm to add to her charm bracelet. That is a wonderful present for a wonderful girl. I know I gave Belly some kind of negative energy before, but I'm still on Team Belly. I'm still on Team Belly for her happiness. And I immediately loved when Jeremiah actually expressed his feelings and was a big boy, unlike Conrad, and said, "Hey, Belly, I kind of like you, but I feel like you're always going to be stuck on Conrad. I like you and I've liked you for a little bit of time. So just kind of hit me up whenever you want." But Belly was like, "Okay, but I like Conrad." And then she like went and confronted Conrad about that. And I was like, nope. Okay, now let's debunk some common Australian myths. Let's debunk some Aussie myths. Number 1, I've never really understood this one or gotten where it came from, but another shrimp on the Barbie. So a shrimp, like, a shrimp, like seafood. No one calls it a shrimp here. It's called a prawn. I think that they could be like different species, but no one talks about shrimp here. Like, it's always a prawn. It's always a prawn. Barbie, kind of accurate, like, I guess kind of partially true, because Barbie is short for barbecue. So I feel like I understand where the Barbie came from, not sure where the shrimp came from. It's a prawn, and it will always be a prawn. Number 2, every animal, insect, kind of wildlife in Australia is going to kill you. I mean, yes, but there's those things in every country. Like, can we not give Australia a bad rep for its wildlife? I think Australia is also quite big on its wildlife here. We care a lot about our wildlife, whether that's the native plants or the native animals. So, no hate. No hate. I feel like that kind of also goes on to the next point, is that there's a lot of spiders. Look, I feel like when you visit Australia, it's very unlikely you're going to go like in the outback, like down into the desert, unless you're like a big backpacker or like proper tourist. But I promise you, my friends that I'm trying to convince to come to uni here so I won't be alone, there are spiders, but that's in every country. There's going to be flies, spiders, ants. I feel like also it definitely depends on kind of where you are in Australia. Like, I feel like if you're maybe in Victoria or like New South Wales, or even I'm really bad with Australian geography, Capital Territory, I think that's what it's called. I don't know, wherever Canberra is. That's so bad that I don't know that. Anyways, I feel like you don't, or even Adelaide, even Queensland, I feel like you're not going to see spiders everywhere. I for sure haven't. Like, if I have, I've probably actually seen more bugs in Bahrain, to be honest. Yeah, don't worry, no spiders, and if there are, I will protect you, because I'm not scared of spiders, and I will hit them with my chappal. That's a slipper. Next one, which is also kind of centered around the wildlife. A lot of people seem to think that we ride the kangaroos here, like it's like a tram or a train or like a bus service. Or people think that they're just kangaroos hopping around the place. Again, I feel like it kind of depends on where you live in Australia. Where I'm from in Australia, there are certainly not kangaroos jumping about. I feel like maybe if you go into more rural parts of Australia, or again, the outback, there are going to be kangaroos hopping about. But you're definitely not going to see one, like, down the road near, like, a 7-Eleven or a supermarket. Depends on where you are, though. Depends on where you are. Next one, forgetting which number we're on, I'm going to say 4 or 5, that Australia is one big desert. For video listeners, I will fill you guys in for audio listeners. When I say I'm from Australia, I do not mean this. I do not mean this. For audio listeners, I'm probably going to be showing like a big picture of the desert, of an Australian desert. I don't mean that. When I say I'm from Australia, I mean this. For audio listeners, probably going to be showing a photo of like a city kind of view. Just search up like Sydney or Melbourne city view. I mean that. All the roads and like the streets here, they kind of just look like, even in England, like the streets there, or even America, just a normal suburban area in one of those in one of those two countries. It's kind of just how it looks here. That's what I mean when I say I'm from Australia. I think this will be the last one, which is that Australians love Vegemite. You know what? This one's actually true. This one's true. No, I'm kidding. I actually hate Vegemite. When I was in primary school, a lot of kids, though, did bring, like, cheese and Vegemite sandwiches. I mean, like, I don't love Vegemite. It's okay. One thing that always annoys me, though, is YouTubers who bring back Vegemite from, like, and they're, like, American or something. I feel like people from the UK kind of know how to put Vegemite on a slice of bread, because they have Marmite, which I think is kind of similar. Don't want to upset people, but I think they're quite similar, or like you use them in the same way. But I feel like there's a lot of videos on YouTube where Americans bring back like Vegemite, or like they try Vegemite in Australia, and I think they think it's some sort of chocolate spread. It is definitely not. I'm pretty sure it's like yeast extract, and it definitely has a kind of salty, savory taste. When you put it, I'm not a Vegemite expert, but I feel like from what my mum does, or like I think even my cousins like it, whenever they do it, they just pop a slice of bread in the toaster, get it all toasted up. Then you take it out. I think you put on a little bit of butter or margarine. And then you take some Vegemite, literally this much. For audio listeners, I have probably less than a centimeter between my pointer finger and my thumb. Literally this much. And that's all you're supposed to put on the slice of toast. That's why I think it lasts so long, because number one, it's made of yeast, and number two, you only have to use a tiny bit. It's probably disgusting because you're using so much. First do it correctly, then make your decision like I have, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. Please make sure to leave a rate and review if you're listening to this on Apple, Spotify, or Google. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this week, and we hope to see you next week. Bye, guys!